Hi everyone, FoeHammer 2003, part of TGN, back again with another review. This time it's Remember Me, developed by Dontnod, or Dontnod, or maybe Dontnod. In any case, it's published by Capcom. Don't let that fool you though. So what is Remember Me? It's a third-person platformer with a fairly in-depth melee combat system, set in what's called Neo-Paris, a Paris set in 2084. A time when life is all about memory exchanges of memories monetized by a corporation. Confused? Yeah, you should be, but luckily the game does a pretty good job of explaining the plot during the first few episodes. And the storyline to this game is very intriguing, in-depth and fascinating to follow. You are labelled as an errorist, I guess which is an adaptation of a terrorist. You play as Nilin, who's on a path to rediscover her lost memory as an elite memory hunter, during which you will encounter allies along the way. As always in this kind of game, your character will be seeking the moral high ground, determined to overthrow the enemy, in this instance, the corporation Memorize.
Careful, Nilin.
The game sees you traversing the world in what initially feels like it may be an open world format, but it is very much linear, for which this game is no bad thing per se, but it would have been nice to be able to choose your own path from time to time whilst climbing around walls of buildings. The detail in the environment here is amazingly in-depth and original. The way you climb and use the various ledges to scale obstacles is very reminiscent of the reboot of Tomb Raider, and of course the main character is female too. I'm also thinking that Mirror's Edge may have had an influence on this game, with the focus away from having a gun and the style of the world you are setting. As well as the platforming aspect, there is a feeling of stealth to the title, as you will have to steal people's memories without them ever detecting your presence. At times it is a requirement not only to steal someone's memory, but to twist and adapt it before replanting it in someone, so you can manipulate your target to behave in your favour. These moments are quite ingenious in the game, and quite frankly set it apart from any other game in the platforming adventure genre. These scenes of manipulation are a breath of fresh air, and one of the many things that make the game very unique. In these scenes you can rewind and fast forward a sequence, and change small aspects of what happens, with varying effects, ultimately to significantly change the target's reaction or allegiance, for example. Again, if it sounds confusing, it is, but when you play the game it really makes sense. Well, to me at least. There are of course collectibles to hunt down and find during the game, for either bonus content or unlocking character enhancements. However, due to the very linear path of the game, there will be very few that you cannot find on a single playthrough. The camera angles can on occasion, unfortunately, really work against you and be quite poor, almost restrictive at times, but other times you really get a perfect view of the environment when you need to. So overall it may not be perfect, but I've played far worse this year alone. Combat is really a love or hate it affair, and personally for me I found it overly cumbersome and slightly awkward. That said, I think it's a system that will appeal to many. Unfortunately it just doesn't do much for me. You unlock various strings of combos you can perform, utilising either the X or Y buttons, and then assign the moves within the combo. These assigned moves are called pressons. You get different types of pressons, which are power, basic HP draining hits, regenerative, which helps restore your own health, timer raising, which lowers the wait time for your S pressons to be released, more on S pressons in a minute, and combo pressons, which multiply the effect of the presson before it in the combo. Then, the further into a combo you go, the more that effect of that particular presson is amplified. You with me so far? Good. Then you have S pressons. These are basically your special moves or abilities that can be unleashed, which will greatly help you during combat. Sometimes they're even essential to secure victory. Right, so we have the moves, but actual combat can be cumbersome, as I said before. Having to use your dodge facility constantly when surrounded takes away any sense of flow or enjoyment for the most part, although by dodging mid-combo will keep your combo rolling once you have dodged the attack, which is great for completing your combos. I often found myself just mashing X or Y through combat sequences, and that was unfortunate enough to defeat pretty much all enemies. Don't get me wrong, Remember Me has a reliable enough combat system, but really the game's heart truly lies with the experience it tries and succeeds in showing you. The storyline and experience of Neo-Paris is what the game is intrinsically focused on in my opinion, and it does that very well. The game has many unusual and interesting segments, which diversify the gameplay significantly. Enough so to make the game quite enjoyable, and that's what got me coming back, the fact that the game is quite different from other games that have come out in the last 12 months. I see some reviewers that are giving this game anywhere between 6 and 7, And to be honest, I think that's a little harsh. The game is a solid 8 out of 10 in my humble opinion. That's as long as you're a gamer who prefers an immersive environment with fresh ideas and an interesting plot. So overall, the pros are fantastic storyline, immersive environment with stunning look and level design, unusual combat system that will please some but not all, unique mixed style of gameplay unlike any other game of its genre, and lots of collectibles to further your character's skills. And the cons? Well, poor camera angles at times. It can sometimes be confusing on where you need to go, despite the linear feel of the game. Pressings and combat system can be confusing, and combat can be a little frustrating in general. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching everyone, and if you'd like, subscribe or comment, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, bye.